Okay. Okay. All right. Hey, everybody. It is Sunday. I don't even know what it is. July 21st. And we are doing a little post-summit call. And originally we had talked about like sharing all the big announcements, but more importantly, like our takeaways and like what was the action step that we wanted to take like in our business in the next year. And then like how to get yourself to Summit 2020 in New Orleans. But I think we're going to bypass like all the announcements because that's stuff that we can just all share in our team pages. But it's like good stuff. I think now is like a great time to be a coach because they're super diligent about rolling new stuff out. Yeah. So that is my thoughts. Dina, what do you think? Is that cool?
Yeah, totally agree.
Okay. So do we just want to start by sharing our our biggest takeaway first?
Okay.
Cool. Wanna go?
Sure. So my biggest takeaway kind of came after we got home, and it was after watching Jamie and Kim's little video. You should watch that. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But was the idea of the cheering and clapping. So we watched those that were there. We watched quite a few people walk across stage. And there was a few coaches who, when they walked across stage, it was like when you've ever been to one of those graduations where the crazy family that brings the cowbells and all the noisemakers, and they just lose their minds when this person graduates. Some of those teams were like that. And then others, the person would walk across stage. There was a couple of top tens where the team was silent. They were out there all alone. And I don't want to build a group around me that is going to be silent for anyone in our group. If anyone that's on this call tonight is going to go across stage, I want the crazy cowbell people, not the silent people. And so as we're building, as we're finding the people that we want to do this with and we want to run with, I'm hoping that we find people that want to be crazy cowbell people. And I'll try to be quick, but it came really to fruition when I was sitting on the curb at the front row of the workout, because it was a crazy night. And at some point I realized that I'm going to either have to give up my front spot right here, number 2 in line, to be with the team, or I'm going to have to leave the team and go be in front in line. And my idea from that was sometimes you're going to have to break away from your group. You're going to have to push harder maybe than your group wants to push. You're going to have to do things that maybe others don't want to do. And you're going to have to decide, am I going to leave the team and push myself to be in front, or am I going to hold myself back and wait for the team? And the final takeaway from that is the amazing group of ladies that I was down there with all told me, you go there, we're still here. So that's the group that you want to build. Crazy cowbell people, and people that even if you're pushing a little harder than they are still going to be cheering for you, even from 2 blocks behind you. So,
but you also said like it wasn't as
fulfilling. Absolutely not. Being up there by yourself was not nearly as fulfilling as if we could have all been up there together. So, yeah.
That's why we have each other. Cool. Okay. Next, someone else want to go?
I can go.
Okay.
My big takeaway kind of plays into one of the things that's really something I'm working on in my own life and have been for the last couple of years. And that was like to embrace you and who you are. And don't try to be somebody else, and don't try to duplicate what somebody else is doing, and totally just live your story and have your reasons to connect with people, because you're not going to connect with everyone, but you're going to connect with the right people that are your people. They're your cowbells. You're going to connect with those people. So that was huge, because I'm really trying to encourage even my own kids as they're becoming teenagers, and myself. I'm always just trying to do a better job of just accepting me perfectly as who I am. And I want everybody else to do that too. And I think when you are being authentic and you're not trying so hard, then the people that are supposed to be there fall in place really easy. And that goes into any part of your life, whether you're just making friends, whether you're wanting to bring in new coaches, new customers, any of that. And I really struggled with that the first time I tried to do the whole Beachbody thing, because I was trying to copy everybody else, what everybody else was doing. And I'm like looking in 10,000 different directions, and I felt very unconnected. So I felt like all the speakers they had, everything they had out there was really pushing you to be your own brand yourself, you shouldn't ever have to sell yourself, because if you're just being yourself, that's enough. It's always enough. So that was the big takeaway I had.
For sure. That's so true. Who's next? Okay, well, I can go. So hard to pick one, but it's the one when people like ask me about Summit that I've been coming back to, and probably just the biggest mindset shift for me. And it happened on Thursday. I mean, so many good things happened on Thursday. I think I could have went home on Thursday after our pre-summit event and been like, okay, that was worth every penny. I'm good. I'll just sightsee now, because Thursday was so good for me. But we were at the Ignite pre-summit event, and Christina Delgado talked about how what we do is so easy, but we overcomplicate it. And so her actual words were, if drinking a shake, doing a workout, personal development, talking to people is the answer, then why do we even make it an option? Like, why, when things get tough or our life gets busy, do we put that aside when it's our job to just do those 4 things? They're not things that are hard, but they're not easy either. But I have always said, I'm coaching because I don't want to go back to teaching. And she gave a different example, but I related to it so much. She said, that's playing not to lose, not playing to win. And I'm like, that's what I've been doing since 2016. And that's why my business has been stuck. Like, I've just been using Beachbody as an option, and one that I thought I was going to fail at, rather than playing to win. So that was huge for me. And just the fact that she said, like, we do those 4 things. And I've heard other coaches say that before too. And I've told my coaches, yeah, that's not hard. We just do these 4 things. But actually being in the mindset of, you're right, they're not, and just consistently doing them. And someone said, oh, it was Kim Fitzpatrick, said, unchecked boxes are unbelief. And so if you think of like your tracker or whatever you're using for your business, if there's always those things that you are leaving unchecked, it's because you're lacking belief in that area. And you're not going to build that belief till you start actually doing the work and checking the box. So that was kind of my biggest takeaway, because it like was most personal to me.
Well, I'll go next because it doesn't surprise me that we had the same biggest takeaway. But I had a lot. Like, this was my 6th summit, and I'm going to get emotional already. I was going into it like, this is my 6th year, and I am a lower rank than I was at my first summit. And I struggled with that. Like, I felt a little bit less than, and a little bit defeated, and a little bit like, what am I doing? You know, why can't I figure this out? But that right there is what I have been doing. Like, I have been surviving and not thriving. Like, I'm just so not wanting to lose instead of focusing on the wins. And not that I don't focus on the wins, and I'm a completely different person than I was 6 years ago because of this. Like, I found my faith again. My marriage is better. I'm a better mom. I mean, everything is better, but I just felt like I'm going to my 6th one and I'm still not on that stage. So I was thinking about all the things that I'm not, and it just really hit me like, I'm still here. Like, that was what Christina said too. Like, if this business is your answer, why are you treating it like an option? Just like Lindy said. And that's what I've been doing. Like, I have a full-time job, good pay, great benefits, security. It takes me 2 minutes to get to work. So I'm playing it safe, and I keep playing it safe, and it's not serving me. And so every single workshop and session, and Rachel and Jade Simmons, it was like, it was the best summit ever. And I feel like God put me there, Beachbody is the best company ever. You know, it was so many things, like Rachel said, if you're in this room, you're already doing life differently. And so I didn't get on stage again this year, but I'm still doing life differently than most people around me. And most people around me don't understand this, and that's okay. Like, I'm not doing this for them. I would love for them to join me. I'd love for them to be passionate about this, but this is not about them. This is about me and my family. And being okay with that. Like, it's okay to say no to things. And when she said you're reaching outside yourself, that's what I've been doing too. So I just had so many takeaways of, I'm in the right place. I'm figuring it out. There isn't a deadline. You know, I don't think I was ready even 2 years ago. And maybe I'm not ready now, but I'm getting there. I think this was the second year that I made it to the super workout. So the first 4 years, I was too hungover. And I felt like a piece of crap on those Saturdays when everybody else came back from the super workout and I didn't go again. And I really attributed that energy to who I was with and really fed off of these last couple of years. And I went, and now like the super workout is one of my favorite things. And I missed out on all that, and I'm not going to miss it again. So I'm not where I want to be, but I'm so much further than where I was. So that's mine.
Love you, Dina.
You too.
So I'll go next, and I will make this a trifecta. And I think part of that has to do with the amount of years we've been in the business, because all three of us have hustled. I'm Suzanne, by the way. I'm not normally on your call, but I will be from now on, if that's okay, because I love Lindy and I love you girls, and the North Dakota team is awesome. But I also went to a pre-summit event with Lindy's girls, the Rise Chick influencers. And one of the things that for me, like Lindy had a moment in 2016, was when I lost coaches that were killing it, you know, and I had a team that was building, and people just decide like that to drop their business, and it takes the wind out of your sails. And for me, that has been a long recovery. It's weird that it should be that long, but it is, because believe it or not, it's harder to find people like you who want to build a small business like this. It's not that you can't coach people to do this. They have to want this for themselves. When I came in this because we needed money for hockey, and I needed purpose. This business rebuilt me, my name, my being, and it helped me find myself. So when I found that and grabbed onto it and started building a team, because I went all in and I had a rising team, and then some of those girls left, it crushed my soul. Literally crushed my soul, and created such an amount of fear. And I don't want this to scare anyone, but this can be reality. So, so much fear that I was paralyzed. I stopped doing the daily grind actions consistently. I still do them, but not with the same amount of fervor and armor that I used to. I used to not give an effing flying fuck over nose, and I used to push right through them and just keep going. You know what I mean? Like, nothing stopped me in those first 2.5 years. Nothing. And then a couple things happened. Then I started wondering, what are people thinking about you? And Kate, you mentioned that, you know, like, you can't worry about what other people are thinking about you. You just got to keep going. And then you start wondering if there's worth in this, and all those things, all those fears. So one of the things the girls said, I don't remember who it was, walk through fear. walk through fear every day again, and be vulnerable. And I actually wrote down walk through fear, Suzanne, because I need to keep reminding myself that you got to keep walking through it. And no matter what anybody else thinks, no matter how many crickets are on your team page, no matter how many people don't respond back to you, it doesn't matter. And here's my final thought on that. Today, I had 2 girls over who have been clients / coaches / dumped the coach bit, became clients again, all kinds of cycles with me. And they're starting the Morning Meltdown 100 group with me. I've been doing the Sunrise crew with them. They've been my people. I show up every day. And one of the girls, Lorna, she's got her back to the wall. It's either surgery to get her stomach stapled or get her shit together. She's been playing around way too much with her health. And she came to me 2 years ago, maybe even 3, and said, Suzanne, I need you in my life. I need 20, we were doing 21-day fix. She was killing it, you guys. 3 months into it, she lost 20 pounds, killed it. Then she fell off. You want to know how many years she ghosted me? 2. 2 years. I'm her coach. She's my client. Today, she apologized to me today in person and said, I am so sorry for not responding back to you. And I wasn't ready. Or I don't know, she wasn't ready, I guess, to respond back. She said, I want you to know that I was watching and I was thankful that you were reaching out to me and you were being my coach, and I'm sorry for that. And I bawled when she told me that. I mean, we were across the island together. And I said, thank you for letting me know that, because I never know sometimes if I'm reaching you guys. And she affirmed the fact that we are reaching them. And as coaches, you do continue to keep reaching out and doing that piece, but just stepping through fear and keep going and, be desperate enough to keep hunting it down. And those are things that I rekindled with this summit. And like you girls, this was really one of my better summits as far as the content that Beachbody gave us, the people that they put in front of us to absorb all that from. I loved it. So that's my main takeaway, is just keep pushing through fear and, put your armor on and keep going and know that you have an impact, even if people are not responding back to you. So.
And I think, like Suzanne said, like Beachbody put these people in front of us, and we were also, this was our summit, we were ready to hear it. Like, I don't think if you were to compare my 5 years of notes, they probably would be that different. In fact, this year I took the least amount of notes I've ever taken, and I'm a huge note taker. But I was just like, for once, and that's how I learned too, but I was just taking it all in. Like, I'll never forget the stuff I learned there this time because I was ready for it. My mind was in the right place.
Yeah.
Thank you. Pam, did you have a huge takeaway from Summit you wanted to share?
If I can unmute. My biggest thing, I think, was from Rachel Hollis, and when she said that knowledge doesn't mean anything, it's applied knowledge that is powerful. I'm a huge, if I learn, and I just have to stop it and just jump in, because I can learn forever, but if I don't apply it, it's not going to do anything for me. And I just have to say, I am so excited because the chance meeting in the airport that I had with a lady I have known for 12 years called me yesterday, and she's ready. So it's one of those things that it's the people you know and that you don't, the people you know but you don't know, and going in and just being honest about things, I think is going to be the huge changing point. So that's my take, and I'm really excited for Denise. So.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and you guys, people are watching when we're there. Like, I've had a lot of messages since then saying like, you guys look like you had so much fun. I could see the light in your eyes. You were so filled with joy. And so people you don't think are watching, and Dina already knows this story. Suzanne knows it, but I just like what Pam just got done saying. I had been dodging having lunch with this gal forever. I never thought of it like as a business lunch. I didn't think she'd be a client. I didn't think she'd be a coach. I'm going to be in Minot like on July 27th or 17th. Can you have lunch that day? Yep, I can. So we met for lunch and I sat there and she wasn't there yet. And I'm like, why am I doing this? I hate this. What if she doesn't show up? What am I going to do? I'm so anxious. Oh my gosh. Well, this is why I don't go to lunch with people. I don't know where to go. Like my anxiety was terrible. And she walked in. And I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for showing up. She's like, girl, are you kidding me? She said, I needed something in my life and I knew I needed to have lunch with someone who's inspiring and empowering and I want to be a coach. And I'm like I almost fell out of my chair. And she has not signed up yet, but that was what our lunch was about. Like that she has done lots of MLMs, but she always gets burnt out or loses her joy. And she said, the thing that I realized about Beachbody is fitness is always part of my life. Why don't I just do that? And turns out she went to her old coach and said, I want to sign up to be a coach. And the guy was like, oh, hold on. Let me get you into a program. Tell me your goals, blah, 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 all the stuff we do. And she's like, no, I want to be a coach. And she's like, well, let's get you into a program first. We'll see how it goes. She's like, never mind. I'll call my friend Lindy. So we'll see where it goes. Like, it hasn't gone anywhere yet, but like, I am just ready for those kind of things now. And like, when you open yourself up to that, you will just be a magnet to things like that happening. And Pam's situation is like a perfect example. So.
And really quickly, I had one today too, the whole cowbell thing and what Pam said. I had a guy reach out to me today, added me as a friend, immediately started talking to me because we were in the Fargo forum. They did a piece on us. I haven't found it yet. Not us specifically, but all the Beachbody people that were down in Indy. He found a picture of the group workout, saw my posts about me being at the front of the group workout, added me and wants to talk. When we're together, when we're doing this like we're doing it, open and all of us being all of us, people are just going to be drawn to us. It's been pretty amazing. So,
You want to do your action step?
Sure. Speaking of that, my action step is about obsession, and that might sound a little bit scary, but the way I heard it, and this is from Ed Milet, if you know who he is, he said that obsession distracts us from everything else, and if you're not obsessed, everything else will distract from it. So if Beachbody is our obsession, we still have to go to work, those of us that have full-time jobs. We still have kids we have to actually keep alive. We still have all these things we have to do, but if it stays our obsession, if it stays in the core of who we are all the time, we don't spend a day where it's like, man, work was just way too busy. I decided not to do my reach outs today. Man, I had that extra thing that weren't planning on doing. I can't do my list of things that I was supposed to do today. When it's your obsession, instead you see an event going on, you're like, that'd be an amazing post about how to get involved or something like that. When it stays your obsession, everything else is distracted instead of you being distracted from that obsession. And so I think it's important that we stay obsessed as we are right now. I think all of us have a feeling of this is really important. We need to do this right this time. All of us that have talked have had a point in our lives where we've gotten to a whole nother year where we go, God, we didn't make where we wanted to be. And so for the first time in my career as a Beachbody coach, I'm a little bit obsessed about being on stage myself.
Well, dang.
I know, right? So
Can't wait to see that, bro. That's going to be awesome. We're going to be cowbelling the hell out of that moment.
I'm a hockey mom. I got cowbells.
Me too. Me too. I'm bringing them next year.
Or did you guys see the people that had their upline on like a big cardboard face?
Yes.
Yeah, there was like people walking around with like their coach's face on like a cardboard with a paint stick.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
We'll have that.
Okay. So the rest of my action step then is, so these videos that I watch coming out of Summit, like the Jamie and Kim video, if you haven't seen it, their post-Summit call is amazing. There's a lot of swearing. Don't watch it with kids around. Rachel Hollis, go back and watch the Rachel Hollis video. I think she spoke directly to a lot of us. And then the gal with the hair and the piano that I slept through, I heard she was really good.
Jade
so
Oh my God, she was so awesome.
It was powerful.
So
Back in-
awesome.
add those into your PD when you're feeling like you're drained and it's no longer an obsession. Put that back as a focus in your PD and get back to this feeling we all have right this minute, and stay obsessed all year. And I think we will all reach our goals, if not more. So that's my action.
So something, sorry to as you're saying, add that back in your PD to give you that energy back. Something Moira said, Kusaba, she said, never answer messages sitting down calmly at your computer. Always have music on and get pumped up for that shit, like Rocky. Like, get into it, get moving. She says, stand in your power, be walking, and voice memo everything. Stop typing. Let them hear your voice. She was really big about that. Really big. And so one thing I remember her doing was she's walking across the stage. She's like, stand in your power. Make sure that you're giving them that energy through that follow-up message or whatever it is you're speaking to, and get pumped up. Don't ever approach follow-ups, invites, anything with this business when you're just like, ugh, I can barely do this. Like, never approach it that way. Always have prepped yourself like as if you're getting into a ring to have a little battle, not in a bad way, but she was very, very specific about that too. And that kind of reminded me the obsessed piece, get obsessed. So sorry.
Oh, is that your action step, Suzanne, or is yours different?
Oh, I guess that's my action step.
Sweet. I like it.
Okay.
Someone else have a thing they're gonna do?
I'm just gonna stop being scared of myself. Time to step outside the box. Time to do it. And get over the fear.
That's awesome.
Yay.
I'm gonna get over the fears of reaching out to people. I had my first meeting with a customer today. I made my first share a cart tonight.
Woo.
And she's like, oh, my one friend, she's really kind of interested too. I was telling her about what we talked about. She's like, so I'm going to talk to her some more. So I was like, right? So I'm trying to get better at that. And then just side note, I've been following Jade Simmons on Insta, and she did a question and answer, which she's like, a lot of you said you wished we'd done something like that when I was there. And it was just she was talking about Summit. So she has it in her link on Insta. We can watch it. She recorded it.
Oh,
So and I haven't watched it yet, but I just saw that tonight, and I was like, I really enjoyed her. So I'm probably going to go back and watch that. But just so you guys know, that's out there too.
Okay. Mine, well, gosh, it was hard to pick one. But I literally, the Jade Simmons thing, I literally have, and I went into Summit in my best mindset ever. So my post-Summit high feels a little different because I think I went in on a high. I just didn't know what to do with it at the time. So Danielle Natoni gave us 10 excuses that coaches use why they're not further ahead. And I've literally used every one of them. And I could make that a post sometime in the team page or something, but I'm not going to use any more of those excuses anymore. I literally have everything I need inside me to walk across that stage as top 10 if I wanted to. And the reason I haven't yet is, one, I have never shared my vision with my team. And when I did, it scared them and they quit. So I let that hold me back and be afraid, and I'm not going to anymore. So it's doing sharing my vision, creating a vision together. And I don't know who said this, but said vision is one day, but culture is every day. And that's building our culture up again. And it's going to look different because honestly, there's several of us teams that are combined, and that is just kind of our new culture. I didn't think at Summit oh, Dina's not on my team or whatever. We just all are in this together, even if it never benefits anyone, because the greatest thing I've gotten through all this is the relationships in it. Like I was telling Suzanne, I was messaging her, like, was it yesterday? And I was just like so on fire. I'm like, I can't even type. I'm so excited. I just love you so much. But like, I would not know her if it wasn't for this. So like more joy, more gratitude, and more consistency. Those are the Fitzpatricks. If you know them, like we love them. That's their superpowers. And I tell everyone like, oh, I'm living my best life, but I don't think I feel it in here. And if I do, I'm too afraid to share it. And so success follows joy and gratitude. And so I'm just doing a better job of being grateful. And a simple thing we're doing with our kids and each other is if we say we want something, right there, one of us stops the other one and says, nope, stop, tell me one thing you're grateful for. And like, it is really helping us as a family. So just more vision, more culture building, joy, gratitude. It's just all a mess. And I hope that makes sense, because it makes sense in here, but it's just getting to that uncomfortable place again where I'm willing to like share and be vulnerable with my team. For some reason, it's like easy on social media, but like to like reveal yourself to people you're close to is harder, but I'm getting there.
I kind of along the lines of what Pam said, like I am a learn and not do. So I am really like even personal development sometimes for me can be a slippery slope, because then I just read or listen to no end. So I'm still going to be learning, because that's what we do, but applying. So applied knowledge is going to be my thing. And I decided to, like, I'm going all in on Morning Meltdown. I might be kind of limited physically, but I'm going all in. I can for sure go all in on my nutrition. And then I decided I'm going to work super close with one coach and one client. And I already found my client, and it's a gal who, she's been with me for several years, and she's kind of one that she is on, and then she kind of disappears. And my goal this time is to not let her disappear. And so it's, you know, when I'm working with somebody like that, it just fuels me as much as I think it's hopefully helping her. So I just want to pour into others. And that's one thing that I didn't say that I love that Jade said, and she had a post on Instagram too, is that your purpose is not the thing you do. Your purpose is what happens in others when you do what you do. And that's what this is all about. So I have a lot of action steps.
I think we all do, but I love how everything that everyone shared tonight is so intertwined.
Yeah.
Want to share Sarah's quick?
Yeah. Okay. Sarah sent us a video.
Share that.
Can you guys see Sarah?
Yep.
Everybody, good evening. Happy Sunday. So I am going on video tonight from the lake. And so I wanted to kind of give you guys my takeaways from Summit 2019 here, and kind of a couple takeaways and how I'm going to apply them to my business from here on out. So as I sat there at Summit this year, in the crowd, every one of those top coaches up there, or the coaches, reiterated how last year at some point they were sitting out in the crowd. And they made a decision that day that they were going to not be sitting in that crowd, and they were going to be one that was going to walk across that stage, or they were going to be a top coach, or they have.
Did anyone else lose audio there?
I can't hear her either.
Yeah, she stopped.
My business forward anymore. So I am willing to work
There she is.
Thank you.
one that was going to walk across that stage, or they were going to be a top coach, or they had major goals for themselves. And at that minute, they decided to go for that, and they believed they could do it. So this year is the last year that I'm going to be sitting in the crowd and not walk across the stage. I've made up my mind I don't want to be where I am now next year. This is the last summit that I'm going to be not moving my business forward anymore. So I am willing to work for it. There's so many key little points that I heard throughout Summit, things that I'm going to keep reiterating to myself. One of the things Melanie Metro said was everything is figure outable. So I, looking at my business, I can't say that I don't know how to do something because there is Google. You can find help, and there's always help in our business. So everything is figure outable. A couple key things that Rachel Hollis said was that what got you here is not going to get you there. So you have to learn to level up and do harder things and not pass up opportunities. And you don't have to be the smartest person either. You just have to be willing to work for it, and you have to have belief in yourself. So just a couple things moving forward that I'm going to apply into my business is I did get myself a new planner because I realized the one that I have been using, I was not utilizing it to its fullest potential. So I just went back to something basic. So I have for the next 3 months already figured out in my planner the new launches and my boot camps. All those things are plugged into there. Any appointments, all that stuff's figured out. In fact, all the way through the end of 2019 here, I have all the new launches plugged in there. So I'm not only like 3 months out, I have myself planned for my business, but I have looking forward through, the end of the year, kind of what programs I'm going to be doing, from my fitness to my health to, date night with my husband, all that kind of stuff is plugged into my planner. Time management has been a struggle for me in general.
Okay. Can we just click back in this link when we get cut off? Does anyone know?
Yeah, we can.
Sure.
Your link, yeah.
So like the same link that got you here, we're going to get cut off. Just hop back in for a minute. So
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
And then we'll rewatch second half of Sarah's video.
Sorry.
No big deal.